All right, back for another beer review, and today I'm reviewing a collaboration between the Finback Brewery out of Queens, New York, and Collective Arts Brewing out of Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and this is their Canada Spritz. So this is what they're calling a black currant Brut Double IPA Pale Ale. Comes in at 8.5% alcohol by volume and no IBUs listed. And the time of review, this beer is approximately 3 weeks old. So this is not only the first Brut IPA or Double IPA that I'm reviewing on the channel, it's the first one I am trying ever. So if you're unfamiliar with Brut IPAs or Brut Double IPAs, basically they're going for like the driest IPA you can possibly produce. So Brut, when it comes to champagnes and sparkling wines, means extra dry. And I'm not going to go into the whole, a spiel about what the Brut IPA is. If you want to check it out, I highly recommend doing a Google search. There's a lot of good articles out there. It was developed about a year ago by a California brewer that wanted a really dry IPA. And yeah, so the reason why I haven't tried any until now is because it just doesn't seem like a style that I'd probably enjoy. When it comes to IPAs, I want mine to be at the most semi-dry. I want a good balance on the dry, on the finish. I want some residual sugars. I don't want it bone dry, and I just don't think I'm going to enjoy the style. So I've kind of, I kind of avoided them to this point. But when I was in Rochester, New York, a couple weeks ago, I stopped at the One Stop Brew Shop, and they had a whole bunch of Finback beers that they brought back from downstate New York, and I was like, I got to grab this because it is a collaboration with Collective Arts, and they are one of my favorite breweries in Ontario, Canada. So here we are, and the fact that there's black currant in it is pretty interesting. The fact that it's a double IPA, a Brut Double IPA, is even more interesting. So yeah, we're gonna see what this one has to offer. It does say on here it's a Brut Rosé Double IPA with black currants, dry hop with Blanc, Hallertauer Blanc. I'm pretty sure it's Hallertauer Blanc and Mosaic, and it's brewed in collaboration with Collective Arts. So I guess we're gonna see what this one's all about. Again, I don't want to go into a beer with preconceived notions and stuff, but I will. I'm just honest with you guys. I don't think I'm going to enjoy the style, but I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to give it an honest review, and I'm going to see what I think about it, because that's what you do when you review beer. You gotta be honest, and you gotta try a lot of styles and things that you don't normally do. Just, you never know what styles you're going to enjoy. So let's give this a pour. I thought the color might be a little bit different. It definitely has, pouring it out, it definitely has more of a, yeah, so I mean, it has more of like a, they're going for a rosé. Yeah, I mean, it has like this pinkish, almost purplish hue to it. It might not come off great on camera, but yeah, it kind of does. Pretty good carbonation. You guys saw that head fizz away. It was about a finger of a bright white head. Now it is a thin film. But yeah, I mean, it's very filtered as well. Maybe a touch of haze there, but not much. Yeah, anyway, here we go with the nose. We'll see what this one has to offer in the nose. Wow. With the black currants, that's kind of coming off very winey, so to speak. Yeah, very, very fruity from the black currants. Almost like this grape / raspberry component in there. Definitely pick up on the black currants. The Mosaic and the Hallertauer Blanc, bit of grape, maybe a bit of melon as well. Yeah, almost like a honeydew melon in here, along with that grape character, like a white grape. But really, that black currant, it has like they said, they're going for like a rosé wine, or maybe a rosé cider type of feel to it, and I kind of get what they're going for there. It smells a bit sweeter than anticipated. I don't know if it's from the bigger malt character on here at 8.5, or if it's from the black currants themselves, but definitely has a sweeter nose to it. Yeah, it smells pretty tasty actually, but there's not a lot going on here. The complexity is not all that high. So anyway, I want to get into it. So cheers everyone. Let's see what the first Brut Double IPA has to offer. I've said has to offer like 3 times because I'm an idiot. Oh, that is dry. Very interesting, because right up front, I'm hit with a lot of sweetness, actually. The black currants are very bold. right up front. You're getting the black currant character, but it's kind of coming off more of like almost a raspberry melon tone, probably from the Mosaic and the Hallertauer Blanc right up front. It's very sweet on the tip of the tongue. As it passes through the palate, it just dries out. My tongue, I have no saliva left on my tongue right now at all. It is crazy dry. 8.5%, the body is nice. It's like higher side of medium body, lower side of full body. The mouthfeel itself, very reminiscent of like a champagne or a really dry wine. It's very effervescent, a very, or I should say when I say a white wine, like a sparkling wine, it's very effervescent, very spritzy. It's almost like pop rocks on your tongue. That's how spritzy the carbonation is. At 8.5%, really not picking up much of the alcohol at all, honestly. This does have, it's very similar. They call it a, what did they call it again? A Brut Rosé Double IPA. I see where they're going for with the rosé part of it. It's definitely coming off with the black currants as like a rosé wine, like a rosé sparkling wine. It's very crazy. I don't dislike it. Here's the thing, I don't dislike it. If it wasn't for those black currants, I don't know if I'd necessarily enjoy this one. It's so dry that it makes me keep on going back for more. I'm hit with the sweetness and then it dries out again. So yes, I want to drink more of it to get the dryness out. And that's the whole point of dry beverages in general. You want to keep on going back to replenish your palate because it's so dry. And then after you take a sip, it's dry again, but you keep on drinking to make sure that that dryness doesn't stay there constantly, right? Yeah, I mean, again, not a ton of complexity in this one. It's complex, but it's not. Like, there's complex from a standpoint that this is a double IPA, but because it's a Brut Double IPA and they're putting black currants in it, it's coming off more of like a sparkling wine in some aspects. It does have a bit of a hoppiness to it. Again, that melon, maybe even a touch of like a peach and apricot stone fruit, that white grape I was getting on the nose. Not as big in the on the palate, but it's still there. This is interesting. This is an interesting beer. I will say I'm going to try more Brut IPAs, Brut Double IPAs, because they are, I mean, they've become very popular over the last 3 or 4 months, so you're seeing more and more on the shelves. I might give some regular ones a try just to see. As far as this one goes, though, it's not, I'm digging it to a point. I can drink this can and then I think I'd be done with it. But as far as rating goes for the Canada Spritz from Finback and Collective Arts, I'm going to give this a solid 3.75 out of 5. I don't know if this is going to show up in Canada. If any of my Ontario friends see this, I don't know if Collective Arts is going to release it or if they're going to get any cans of it or whatnot. I would highly recommend picking this up and see what you think, because it's very interesting. Like I said, it doesn't have a ton of complexity. At the same time, it's very interesting. So that was Canada Spritz, gets a 3.75 out of 5. That was Finback and Collective Arts doing a bit of collab, and yeah, it was interesting. We'll do some more Brut IPAs, Brut Double IPAs, and see what they got, see what they have to offer. Fuck me. Anyway, till the next one, cheers.